What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We are back at again another Ford dealership on a Sunday because, you know us, we don't want to deal with salespeople on Sunday, or we don't have to. Today we are finally looking over the Ford Ranger, which I've been wanting to review for a long time, and I actually talked to a salesperson. They wanted to get me in and drive one, but I don't want to deal with them, so we're just going to walk around, talk about the different options, and see how they ruined the Ford Ranger. Alright guys, today's video is sponsored by carvertical.com. This is a car vehicle report system. So simply you would just go to carvertical.com, get a VIN number, and you can enter that here, check car now. What it's going to do is pull all the available data for the car, whether it's been in accidents, any title issues, any odometer issues, odometer readings, and it really gets into some more specific things, which I'm going to show you here in just a second. So we're going to pull some sample reports. This is not for the vehicle that I typed in, but you could pull up any title records, junk salvage insurance records, mileage, title checks, anything like that. The next page is going to show you any photos. So if it was brought to a body shop, if it was brought to the dealership, and they have photos of the car, photos of the condition, you can see these things. So if you're interested in buying a used car and you're worried what has been done to it, or where it's been before, has it been wrecked, has it been stolen, anything like that, it's going to show up. And I think this photo option is actually a really cool idea. So here's all your spotted activity, where the car has been, any equipment below, equipment options. Maybe you're not totally sure on the options on the car, and sometimes when people sell cars, they aren't sure of all the options either. And here you can see all those. So this is a really cool option here. It actually shows common failures within the vehicle. So their vehicle that there's on their sample report is actually a Volkswagen TDI, and it actually lists out the common failures, which honestly, that's a really cool feature, because if you're buying a car that you're not really familiar with, this is going to show you things to look for. And not everyone is a car buying expert, so these are good things to know when you actually go looking at buying a vehicle. So those are some sample reports. You can actually get these right now for a limited time offer for only $14.99. They're 25% off. Find out really cool things about a car, check the stolen vehicle database, check the vehicle registration, see any photos like I showed you, find out the vehicle's mileage history, where it's been, where the if the mileage has been done over a year or over the course of 5 years, have they been driving it a lot recently? You want to know if a vehicle has been driven recently or if it's just been sitting for a long time, because if it's been sitting for a long time, that could bring up some issues. It'll even tell you when the next maintenance is done, obviously if there's been any accidents, if it's been stolen, any issues. And then, like I said, on the last one, which I thought was the coolest thing that I just realized, was any safety and maintenance recalls or typical problems associated with that vehicle. So huge shout out to Car Vertical. Make sure you check them out at carvertical.com. They do have a limited time offer going on right now for $14.99, and you can pull up some history reports. If you're looking to buy a used car, please check the link in the description below if you guys want to go to carvertical.com. All right, so we've got a few different options here. This is a Ranger STX. You can tell by the wheels, the tires, and the exterior that this is pretty much a base model Ranger. It's obviously got cloth seats, not even a screen in it, real small dash, super basic on the inside. This is going to be your typical low model, run-of-the-mill Ford Ranger. This one MSRP is $31,000. They've added window tint, nitro. Where's the window tint? I don't see no window tint. For $32,000. So this is kind of like your base model here. I wonder if this is an EcoBoost. So yeah, I think these are all EcoBoost actually. So these are all, so yes, these are all actually EcoBoost. So next model up, Kennedy matching it with her t-shirt kind of. This is an XLT. So you can see a little bit nicer wheels, definitely nicer appearance just from the outside. Still the same standard halogen bulb headlights. Still pretty much a base model, but this jumps up all the way to 40 grand. So we're not even at a Lariat yet. This is just an XLT, but they are both EcoBoost. This one, actually these both, this one and the STX already come with tonneau covers. This one has a little bit nicer screen in there. You can't really see it. Still cloth seats, $40,000 MSRP. So a little bit nicer wheels and tires. This is an FX4 package, meaning it's got a little bit stiffer shocks. Should have some protection under the bottom side for off-roading, but this is still an XLT at $40,000. Now we step up to the Lariat, which is kind of the middle of the road package.
It's going to have painted to match mirror caps. You can usually get the bumpers painted to match. However, it looks like they're painted, but they're kind of like a gunmetal gray, whereas the XLT comes with chrome bumpers. Different premium wheels. Obviously, this is a sport package. It's not an FX4, but it is a sport package, so everything's going to come painted to match, such as the mirror caps. I'm really surprised that the fender wells and the bumpers aren't painted to match because of the sport package. Usually, sport package, you get that stuff. But this is a Lariat. You can tell a little bit nicer headlights. We've got an XLT next to us, and this had the same headlights as the STX. So you can tell this has got nice LED bulbs in there. Full LED headlight. Super nice headlights because it's a Lariat package. Leather seats. Same size screen that the XLT had, actually. So I'm assuming you could probably get a little bit different screen. This jumps to only 41,000. So this blue one must actually be a spec'd out XLT. So the thing about any of these manufacturers is when you get a lower model, you can usually spec up options, and what's funny is it gets you closer to the next model. So this Lariat obviously is not a lot nicer, but it's literally the same price as the XLT over there. What's this one? So here's another XLT, just like the other blue one, a black XLT. So it looks like the nicest one they have is the white one, the white Lariat. So these are all XLTs and SXTs. I'm assuming they don't offer a premium version such as like a platinum or limited in these, which is kind of interesting. I thought they'd have something like that, or maybe a 4x4 version, but these are just the ones they have. They might have other options at other dealerships, but these are the Rangers that are here. So I think this is just a personal opinion because I did have a 96 Ranger, which was kind of the cool mid-sized truck back then. Well, I thought it was the cool mid-sized truck. And I think they honestly ruined these with the front ends. I don't mind the headlights at all, but I think it's the shape of the headlight and how it flows with the grill. It just doesn't look good to me. And the Ranger that I had back in the day was just like a single cab V6 Ranger, probably the most reliable vehicle I've ever had. I paid a couple $100 for it, did normal maintenance on it, and it was like had 200,000 miles on it. It's the most awesome vehicle I've ever owned and probably the best daily driver. Wasn't the nicest truck, but it worked. So it was a little single cab, two-wheel drive Ranger. It was awesome. Now these trucks, they've obviously have beefed these up a little bit because they're trying to compete with things like the Chevy Colorado. If Dodge or Ram brought back the Dakota, that would be in the same league, but it would now be the Jeep Gladiator that is a competitor of these. And I'm sorry, I just think they ruined these. From the side, they really do look exactly like a Chevy Colorado. It's more of when you come around to the front, which it looks different, but man, it just doesn't look as mean as something like, say, a Raptor would. And you know, I get it, it's not an F-150, this is a mid-sized truck. It's just, I don't know, I think they went a little too sporty with the front end and not as rugged and mean as they should have, you know, especially because these have FX4 packages on them, which is like an off-road package, and to me that doesn't look like much like an off-road truck. If I was going to get something like that, I would probably get a Jeep Gladiator, especially in the price range that it is in. Fan of them. Kennedy, thoughts on the looks?
I hate them. Oh my gosh.
And we love Ford trucks.
Yeah, this is, gosh, they took a step back, I feel like, on these.
Yeah, so this would compare to like Chevy Colorado, like I said, or a Jeep Gladiator.
They look like Chevys.
Yeah, they do. They're just too rounded in the front. You know, if you go over to something like, you know, here's a comparable F-150, not even a Raptor. This is just an F-150 Lariat, so this would be comparable to the one Ranger over there, but just look how much meaner these look from the front. I get that they kind of mimic them, but I would say you take out the front end and it just looks like a mini F-150. It's really just the front end that I'm not a fan of. Whereas I really enjoy this front end, this 18-19 front end. I really liked the 15 to 17 front end. I think they looked really good. But man, you just need to take out the front end, because if you block out the front end and just look at the side and the back, it just looks like a mini F-150.
I really was expecting a lot more.
Yeah.
It looks like an SUV threw up on their trucks.
They really should have just taken the front end of this F-150 and put it on this, because from here the white Ranger looks super good. I think it just looks like a mini Raptor almost.
Right, just makes it look.
So right there is the white Ranger. And then you got the white Raptor over there. Like, it looks like a miniature version because look, it's even got the little gray fender flares. Obviously they're more pronounced on the Raptor, but man, you come around to the front, even the wheels look like a Raptor. But oh man, the headlights and grille, they just kill it. And I think they really should have offered, and they might offer an option, but they need to paint match all that stuff. It looks really good. But this one being the two-tone, it kind of looks like the Raptor over there. It's just the front end kills it.
I just think it's the lights.
Yeah.
I think they should have somehow incorporated all. I mean, even the Raptor, I can tell that the headlights are Ford because of the taillight.
Yeah,
I mean,
this does not look like Ford.
No,
usually you can
not at all.
spot out Ford and a Ram by their headlights. And it is hard to say, but it looks super tiny in there. The headroom looks super shallow, but that's pretty much to be expected. We sat in a Gladiator, and they're probably about the same on the inside. It looks like it has decent room in the back, but look how shallow the door is. It's a pretty shallow door.
I do like how they put covers on all of the.
Yeah, 3 of these 5 trucks have the tonneau covers, which is obviously a nice upgrade, but you can order these from Ford for any truck that you have. Look how small the rear window is though, that's funny.
Just enough room for cupcakes.
Just enough room for your dogs. But like I said, I think if they changed the front end, I would definitely be a fan. Because how do you go from something like this Raptor over here to the Ranger? The Ranger should have been a mini version of the Raptor, because when you're buying a Ranger, you're not buying it to tow anything. It's mostly just a daily driven, small size truck that you might take off-road on the weekends or take it camping. But just imagine if they put this mean front end on that Ranger over there, how much better that would look. So that's just my small review of the Ranger. I would still like to drive one. If anyone locally has one and wants me to come review it, I would love to drive one just to see what the interior is all about. But it looked pretty basic, but that's what was cool about the Rangers back in the day. It was like a basic mid-size, small-size truck that did really well on gas mileage. It was a good daily driver, and then it was a truck you could take out on the weekends, and they were super reliable. At least the one that I had was super reliable. So that is our small review of the Ford Ranger. Let me know what you guys think down below. Did Ford ruin it, or did they totally hit it out of the park? I'm gonna say they ruined it.
I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10.
Whoa, that's pretty low score. That's a Ken Dog score right there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this small video. As always, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram and Snapchat at Kennedy McCall at Vanvy39, and we'll see you guys on the next one.